who is also the chair for the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, please allow me to thank the persons who have worked so hard to pull this report together, the staff. Madam Chair, they literally had to fight to get the many thousands of records that they have received. It was not easy, and the Republicans played no role in securing those records. They are simply playing catch-up, and they're not doing a very good job. Now, Mr. Scharf, excuse me, we cannot allow the punishment for this level of fraud to simply become the cost of doing business. No one has gone to jail. It is true that the CEOs of the too big to fail banks have thus far been too big to jail. We must do more than simply pay the government a fine. Most of the frontline workers in these banks live paycheck to paycheck, while the banks have made profits in excess of $150 billion a year. $150 billion a year since the recession. In 2018, a bank CEO made 776 times the salary of a minimum wage worker. That CEO made approximately $24.2 million. I shall not mention his name, but I'm prepared to if I have to. I have visited with you. Thus far, you have been straight with me. And I do believe that out of adversity, there's opportunity. The greater the adversity, the greater the opportunity. You now have an opportunity to help us change not only the culture at your bank, but to change the culture across banking. Workers need a living wage. All workers in banks should have a living wage. Workers need stronger whistleblower protection. This is a part of the solution, not non-disclosure agreements that silence workers. If we had had stronger whistleblower protections, I do believe someone would have reported this circumstance, and we wouldn't be sitting here today. We need to improve your mentor-protege standing. Black banks are going out of business. We have approximately 18 or 19 now, depending on who's counting and how you count. We need help. You're in a position to change this. You can change the course of destiny for minority institutions, MDIs. The lowest paid workers in banks are women and people of color. The highest paid, disproportionately in both cases, are white men. White men are doing well. People of color and women are not doing as well. We can change this. These are the kinds of issues that we refuse to confront because there's a danger associated with it. There's a culture that has developed that will punish you if you try to develop equity and equality. It will silence you. You can speak with a very loud voice. You were not a part of the transgressions that took place, but you can be a part, and I believe you really want to be a part of a solution that can change not only the culture at Wells, but the culture across banking. We need a Bill of Rights for the workers within the banks. We ought to have something that is posted, that is clear, concise, and conspicuous, unambiguous, that says to workers, you mean something not only to this institution, but to this country. Here are your rights. You have the right to report without fear of being somehow punished for your doing the right thing. So I'm going to ask that we meet again Will you assure me that you'll meet with me again, sir?
Absolutely, Congressman.
And will you assure me that you will work with me to develop this Bill of Rights for workers? Will you assure me, sir?
I will absolutely work on a Bill of Rights that makes sense in Wells Fargo.
I thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Laudermilk, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam